What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Game Informer Show, a weekly podcast covering the video game industry. Join us every Thursday for a discussion of the latest gaming news, reviews, and exclusive reveals alongside Game Informer staff and special guests from around the industry. I'm one of your hosts, Alex Van Aken, and today I'm joined by Kyle Hilliard. How you doing, Kyle?
Oh, I cut you off. That's
how
excited
I was. You're excited. You're eager. Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Awesome. Marcus Stewart, hello.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
You know, just hanging out. I'm packing for a trip. I can't show you what's on the screen, but I've got a lot of handhelds in my hand, and I'm just trying to figure out which one to bring. There's too many.
You gotta pick one. You can't bring multiple. You just gotta pick one and commit.
Yeah, are you gonna play all of those?
I'm not.
Realistically,
I'm just gonna bring Steam Deck.
I've gone to the thing where it's like there's I know you haven't introduced me yet, but hi, I'm Brian Shea from Game
Brian Shea, hello, welcome.
It's one of those things where like I will get like randomly checked by TSA every once in a while, and they're like, "Sir, do you have any electronics in your bag?" And I'm just like, "You have hit the jackpot, sir."
If you get paid by number of electronics checked,
yeah. Confetti pops out of your suitcase and like fireworks. Actually, no, you can't carry those through. Yeah, you can't carry those through.
Fireworks, I will be led to the back with a man.
It's always wild when you're like in the airport and you see the reminders on screen that it's like no firearms permitted. And I'm like, who's like in the airport getting on a plane?
People do. I just read a news story this morning that I don't know where, but the TSA apparently they set like a new or they're approaching a record where they've been finding like at least 20 firearms through like baggage checks.
Oh dang it! I forgot my armor.
Because you're allowed to bring firearms,
tool of war,
but you have to check them in and they have to be in a case and all that stuff. But this is people bringing them on their carry-ons. And you can't do that, but apparently they've found like 20, and I think it's just people being dumb. I don't think there's any ill intent. It's just like I can't bring my AK in my backpack.
Yeah, that's funny.
Is it funny? Well, I think it's horrifying.
It's the world we live in.
You know how they have where you can dump out water? Like you're not allowed to have water.
Yeah, you dump out your fire.
They should have like a fireworks place where you can set off your fireworks.
Yeah.
When I went to the Alan Wake event, they gave me an Alan Wake thermos, like themed after the thing. It was in a box. I had to open it, and I got pulled aside when I was flying home, and the lady had to unbox it and unwrap it, and she had me take the lid off, and I'm like struggling because I haven't done it before, and it's a weird lid.
Oh,
and I thought just seeing Alan Wake, like it's a collectible thing. It's not anything, but she's like, open this up.
She wasn't a fan of the 2009 Remedy third-person shooter.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you should have had her record you with your phone so that way you could do an unboxing video.
That actually,
the ultimate unboxings, the TSA.
That would have been
at the LAX TSA checkpoint.
That would have been.
What's your name, miss? What's your name?
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. I would have been like, Marcus, send me that for TikTok. I will absolutely put a TSA unboxing merch video on Game Informer's TikTok.
Something to remember for future trips.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, let's get into the show this week. We just revealed our new cover for October 2023. It is Super Mario Wonder. And Shea, you played this. You've seen levels nobody has seen. You interviewed the dev team, all sorts of stuff. You want to just let's jump into it. You can kick us off.
Yeah. So Super Mario Brothers Wonder, it is coming out in just a couple weeks here, and we wanted to kind of create a story that would make it so that like if you get your issue and like you're playing the game, like it still has like some value in like reading about like the creation of this game. So it's like part of it is, yes, my hands-on experience, which, you know, I have played more than anybody outside of Nintendo at this point. I've played 3 hands-on sessions. One in
None
New
of us
York.
are jealous, to be clear, just so everyone's covering everyone's bases.
So one in New York, one at Nintendo Live out in Seattle, and then one at the Nintendo of America headquarters in Redmond, Washington. So I have gone to those 3 hands-on sessions, spent multiple hours with the game. I've played the first level like 5 times at this point, and then like several other levels multiple times as well. And yeah, also got to talk to producer Takashi Tezuka, who's been with the series since 1984, been with Nintendo since 1984, and director Shiro Mori, who is he has been with Nintendo I think since 98 or 99, and he's worked on games like Mario Sunshine, A Link Between Worlds, New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. I believe he was the director of that as well. So he's been with Nintendo for a while, even if you don't recognize his name the way you do Takashi Tezuka. And then, bonus interviews on top of that, getting quotes from people like Koji Kondo and the art director of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, talking about kind of the distinctive art style, the way that...
Hold on, I feel like you rushed past it a little bit, but just to be clear, Koji Kondo, wrote the Mario theme.
Yeah, and also most of the Zelda music you love. And
just shout out to Koji Kondo.
He's basically the John Williams of the video game industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me bring up the name of the art director, because in the live stream I also... Masanobu Sato is the art director. So the interview subjects I talked to were Takashi Tezuka, Shiru Mori, Masanobu Sato, who's the art director, and Koji Kondo, who is the sound director. Did
Kondo, did he make new music for it, or is he kind of, do you know? Or
I don't know if he made new music, but he did oversee the creation of all the audio.
Yeah, I mean, he's in charge at this point, right? He's the music guy over at Nintendo. But I don't know how often these days he makes new compositions. I'd be curious about that.
Well, I know he made a lot of new compositions for Mario Maker 2, because remember they had the new biomes that weren't in Super Mario World or Mario 3 or anything, and he actually made those new compositions for those biomes that weren't present in those earlier games. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's new Koji Kondo stuff in this game.
Yeah, there's got to be.
But yeah, so I got to play through all the levels that I played through in the first 2 hands-on over again, and I think I played them again after that as well. And then also got to check out 3 new stages that nobody else has played, and I've played through them, I believe, twice each, if not 3 times for some of them. So the first one was Condarts Away, which is an ice level, but it's not an ice level, thankfully. It's a snow level. So you don't have any traction problems, which is great. And Condarts are basically these birds that just kind of float, and then they wait for you. And when you go past, they shoot forward like a dart. And it's meant to damage you, but also if you do it at the right time in the right spot, they'll shoot through and break through bricks that will allow you to access new levels and everything. And this level also had these, they're called, sorry, I'm looking at my preview here on GameInformer.com, zip tracks. And these are basically those yellow, they almost look like boost pads that you've seen in the Mario Direct, the Mario Wonder Direct. And if you're on top of it, you're grinding on it. And if you jump up, it's almost like a zip line that you attach to. And it's a really fast-paced thing. And you're dodging enemies, collecting coins as you go. It's just a super fun high speed segment in the game. And then the wonder effect, which the main thing in this game is not Elephant Mario, despite what all of the marketing and our cover story would have you believe.
I mean, he's the most grab your attention thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah.
Hence why he's on our cover.
Yeah,
because that was something that we loved, calling that out. It's I believe it was you, Alex, who said that that would be us putting the raccoon Mario or Tanuki Mario on our cover for Mario 3. It's that's just the power up that people are going to remember from this game.
Absolutely.
But the wonder effects. So every level you grab a wonder seed. They're optional, but yeah, the point of it is to grab the wonder seed or the wonder flower, and then that transforms the area around you into sometimes new gameplay elements, sometimes just cool effects happening around you. The first level, it's all the pipes start going up and down, and there's an inchworm pipe where it just crawls along the thing, and when it's up like that, on the apex, you can jump off and reach higher levels. But the one in Condarts Away is a top-down perspective, so it actually shifts the camera so it's above you, and you have to walk through and dodge enemies. You can't attack because there's no jump when you're in top-down, so there's no attacking. So you're trying to collect these flower coins, which are the in-game currency, and also make your way around the enemies and get the Wonder Seed, which is the ultimate goal of getting the Wonder Flower. The Wonder Seed is the main collectible of this game. And you do that through 1, doing the Wonder Flower and completing the Wonder Effect. At 2, completing an exit on the stage. So each exit, some stages will have multiple exits. Each exit you gets you an additional Wonder Seed. And that, again, that's the main collectible of the game. So you want to get as many of those as possible. So yeah, that is the main way. So most of them are going to have just 2 seeds per level, at least in my experience. but I did play one in my first hands-on session called Bull Rush Coming Through, where if you ride the Stampede, you've seen it in the trailers, where the Stampede just plows through the flagpole. That gets you to the secret exit, like in Super Mario World, where there's multiple exits. You have to do something to get the multiple exits, and in doing that, you get the third Wonder Seed of that stage, which is important for. I'm assuming that later on there's some level gating involved, where if you need a certain number of Wonder Seeds, because there's also some of the it's kind of like the hub world style that you're going from level to level. And in going from stage to stage, sometimes it dumps you out into like an open area, and being in that open area allows you to just skip certain levels if you don't want to play them. But if you do that too often, you won't have enough Wonder Seeds at a certain point. It seems like anyway. So that was the first.
So here, let me ask you this: Did you have a good time? Like, are you excited about it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
This is like.
I mean, we kind of take it for granted that it's like, yeah, turns out Mario's fun. But like, I was curious, like, what your what your sort of critical opinion of playing so much of it is. It's like, yeah, this is great. This,
Yeah. So I think I've said it on this show before, where like just based on my first hands-on session, that was a kind of an industry-wide hands-on session. Like a lot of different outlets were invited to that one. It felt like the most creative Mario game, at least 2D Mario game, since Yoshi's Island. So it's like, the most creative Mario game in like almost 30 years. And it just feels like they're really taking some chances with these wonder effects, with the enemy designs. Like one of them turns you into a Goomba that you can't jump, and then there's like these monsters running around that they're called Malls, and they will actually try to eat you. So it's almost, you have to hide because you can't jump as a Goomba really, and like you have no attacks. So you just have to like almost do like a survival stealth section of a Mario level as a Goomba until you take these platforms up to get the Wonder Seed.
It's called a Mama?
Mama. M-A-W.
That's what I call my grandma, Mama.
So is that the...
is that just in the game?
Wow.
Does that confirm that those are the natural predators of Goombas?
At least
like
in the
when
Flower
Mario's
Kingdom.
not around? Okay.
Yeah, at least in the Flower Kingdom they seem to be. But they eat everything. So like you can actually hit like the bubble flower is the power up in that one. And if you hit that and the flower comes out, the Malls will actually run towards it and eat it. So you gotta like get items.
That's what happens in
What
real
happens
life,
to
too.
them? Do they get all
They
weird?
just eat it. Like, I mean, Yoshi and Nabbit can't get power ups. So I'm assuming enemies can't get power ups either. Aside from maybe like Hammer Bros, because sometimes they have fire flower abilities and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
Hammer
know.
Bros are people, so
They are. They're bros.
They're in the title, so.
Yeah. So that's the first level I played, was Condarts Away. I liked that one a lot. The second one was Where the Roombas Rule, and Roombas are another like type of enemy in this, and they're like, and by the way, there are 3 R's at the start of Roomba, so I don't know if you're supposed to roll your tongue or not, but
Roomba.
Can you?
Roomba. There you go.
There we go.
So they are like these sentient boulders that it's like a cave level, and they'll roll towards you. And this level also has finding the name again. They are topple rocks, and they're these like yellow pillars, and you can jump. You can either push them over, and they'll cause like a domino effect with the other topple rocks, or you can actually jump on them and wall jump off of them. That's really satisfying. But like, if they fall and they hit like an enemy, it'll defeat the enemy. And then for this one, the wonder effect, it turns you into a spike ball. And you've seen this in the direct as well, where like they're all like the balls, and they're rolling through like an obstacle course almost. And you hear like the bowling sound effects, like the strikes happening and everything. And it was like probably the most exciting moment in my hands-on session, just because like, it's just this weird thing where Mario turns into a giant spiky ball and is like just rampaging through these enemies, because like he just destroys bricks, he destroys topple rocks, he destroys any enemies that are in the way, and you're going off ramps. It's like, it looks like something that somebody would have, like an expert Mario maker would have built if they had like the tools, where it's like, hey, let's just make it so like you're a ball and you're just rolling through, destroying everything in your path. Like those really, really fun Mario Maker levels that just like seem so weird but are so satisfying. That's what it reminded me of. But obviously,
all right.
Nintendo knows what they're doing, so like it's better than any Mario Maker. Yeah, they're the original Mario Maker. And then the third level I played was the hardest level. As far as any of the levels I played, the third exclusive level was the hardest one that I played. It's called Countdown to Drop Down. And they have these things called drop down countdown lifts. And they're like these platforms, and they have a number on them. And the number of times that you jump on them or land on them, it drops the number down. And when the number reaches 0, the platform just turns into and dumps you, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be really judicious about that. And if you're off it for long enough, it'll recharge. But like there's sequences where it's like a moving platform and Lakitus coming by and throwing spinies on it. So like that depletes the number as well. So you have to just like try to defeat them before they like land on the thing and deplete the number more. There's also like if you're on co-op, it becomes super tough because like people are jumping to avoid enemies that are coming in. Whereas like, you know, if you're not playing co-op, you have a little bit more space to operate. There's also melon piranha plants that like sit below and they shoot up like watermelon seeds, and they don't damage you, but they can push you up in the air. And then when you land, it depletes the number again. So it's like really creative ways to try to get you to jump, even when you're not like, you know, you're not supposed to, because like you have to stay on this lift for as long as possible. There's also times where it's like, oh, there's like more flower coins up here. Or there's like a collectible over here. And you had to like really weigh your options of like, all right, do I want to jump and like waste one of my like countdown numbers to get down here? And despite this being like the really like the challenging one of my gameplay session, this was actually like the least remarkable wonder effect. It was like you got it and it was just like a free fall. Like Mario was literally like skydiving and like collecting coins as he falls. It was still fun, but like I was like, okay, they're gonna go really crazy with this one. And then, you know, it was probably the most straightforward wonder effect I've seen. And like as you're falling, you can like grab superstars that are falling alongside you. But yeah, it was a really, really fun hands-on experience. All the hands-on experience that I've had has been amazing. And I'm a Super Mario World fan through and through. Like I think that is the best Mario game. I know that there's the argument of like Mario 3 is better than Mario World, but I think Mario World is the best one. And this one feels like almost like this is kind of something I have like the synapses in my brain have made this connection like over the weekend, where like New Super Mario Brothers, even talking to like Takashi Tezuka about like, because a part of this cover story that I wrote, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the legacy of New Super Mario Brothers, because, you know, we've been having that ever since, what was it, 2006 was when that first one hit DS?
DS, yeah.
So for nearly 2 decades, that has been our sole experience with new 2D Mario games. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And like the original idea was taking the original Super Mario Brothers on NES and remaking it with modern sensibilities and modern graphics, and like kind of like remaking and modernizing that experience. This feels more in line with taking the spirit and the kind of zaniness and the creativity that Super Mario World injected into the series back in 91 or 91, right? Yeah. And made it like, and made it modernized, right? Like they really took that. And I know they told me, like Shiromori told me that their main inspiration was like looking at why Super Mario Brothers on NES was so successful. And they were like, you know, you had freedom of choice and you had like secrets and mysteries. Those were the 2 themes they wanted to accomplish with this game, Mario Wonder. And as such, you know, they looked at like, all right, well, why was there so much, like so many great secrets and mysteries in the original Mario? And they're like, oh, well, if like you go down a pipe, like you don't, like all the pipes look the same, but like some of them have like a way you can go down there and you access a secret area, or like you hit a brick and sometimes it spawns a vine that takes you up to another secret area. And it's like we wanted to replicate that, and that's what the wonder effects were all about. And then the freedom of choice was inspired primarily on like things like the badge system, where like before going in, like all the characters that you select aside from Nabbit and Yoshi play the same, but in going into a level you can choose badges which equip different abilities and allow you to take on like, all right, well, I want Mario to have like the ability to glide, so you can equip the parachute cap on Mario. Or I want Peach to be able to jump really high, so you can do like the crouch high jump. And like you're in doing that, you're able to really kind of take advantage of the freedom of choice. And then also like, you know, a lot of the worlds, like I mentioned, like there's like the open area of like, you don't have to go like linear through the stages. You can go like, oh, that one looks really fun, I'm gonna do that one first, and then come back and then do this one instead. that was another way that they implemented that freedom of choice.
Cool. Yeah, no, man, this year is just not so bonkers, but like it's like throw it on the pile, but like, yeah, everything about it sounds so great. Like I'm not even maybe not weirdly, I'm not even the biggest like 2D Mario guy, just in general. Like I'll always take 3D personally, but yeah, I Wonder is like one of those games that's going to be like, I'm going to drop everything to play this, like to at least play through the first couple levels, you know. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, every time I play it, I come away more excited for when we finally get our hands on the final game. And I guess I could say I did play the final game at Nintendo. Like I was like, oh, like does this build have this, and does this build have this? And they're like, oh, this is the full game that you're playing right now. I was like, oh.
They said you have to pay us $60.
That's why they asked for my credit card information when I walked in. No, they didn't do that.
Well, no, Brian, one thing you haven't touched on is how does it feel to be Elephant Mario?
Oh, it feels just dandy. You know, like they told me that they gave me kind of the rundown of how they created Elephant Mario, and then also like the bubble flower. And Elephant Mario, they had like 3 goals that they wanted to accomplish. They wanted to have Mario grow in size, which, you know, a lot of Mario power-ups do that, most notably the super mushroom.
Yeah, a lot of parents want that for their child.
And then they also wanted you to be able to like attack like and break bricks from the side. And they're like, okay, well that narrows it down a little bit, but there's plenty. And then like we also wanted it to be like you can spray water. So that seemed oddly specific. They're like, oh, we like thought about it, and we're like, oh, we absolutely need it to be like elephant, I guess. So we're gonna do like an animal for this one. So it feels good. Like, you know, he is bigger. He can reach higher areas. Like just like if there's like a brick higher up that like normal Mario jump can't get to, like the Elephant Mario can. It's nice that you can like reach new areas using it. And also I like that it doesn't waste time giving you the ability to play as Elephant Mario, because it's literally the first level you get to play as Elephant Mario. Like there's like a very obvious like here's a block, hit it, and then like when you do, you get Elephant Mario.
It's kind of like I think I remember New Super Mario Brothers, the first one. They did that with the giant mushroom, right? Like in that first stage, you get it, and you're just like immediately just running through everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's smart. Like in like Mario World did that. I think it was the second level that you play where it's like you get the cape, and it's like, oh, this is very different. Even though like you had the raccoon tail in Mario 3, like the cape just felt so much different in terms of like ways to fly. So they're smart about that, and you can get the raccoon tail in Mario 3's first level, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah, right.
Because there's that area.
Yeah,
there's that area where you can get a sprint and then you fly up, and it's like my world just shattered because Mario can fly now.
Finally,
they fly now.
What can't Mario do at this point?
Taxes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
We need a tax power up.
Can Mario cook?
Ooh, surely he's cooked in a Mario Party or something.
In a mini game.
Yeah.
He's had to have cooked, right? We've had Chef Mario, right?
But I mean, like technically though, he is an avatar in that scenario.
Yeah.
And we are the ones controlling, you know, the skillet mini game. That's us. That's not Mario.
Is that not every video game ever though?
No. In Mario Party, it is, you know.
It's like, are we looking through his eyes like being John Malkovich style?
Yeah.
Again, just about every video game, I guess, right? Every FPS, basically.
Every video game should just be that John Malkovich view. It shouldn't.
Y'all are too focused on technicalities.
The next Call of Duty should be subtitled "Being John Malkovich," and they wouldn't have to change anything. Truly.
Oh my god, I was one realistic, like what they did with Ronald Reagan. Realistic John Malkovich.
That's really good. All right. Well, anything else about Super Mario Wonder, Shea? Anything that we're missing? I
mean, you'll get a steady rollout of stories. I talked about like the difficulty of the game, and you know, it didn't get like an in-depth like, hey, this is going to be the hardest Mario yet. But like, there was a fun moment. Like, I love that like Nintendo has gotten to the point where they're like pairing up their developers, because it often leads to like some kind of fun back and forths. Like, when I was talking to Shigeru Miyamoto and Koji Kondo at the premiere of the Mario movie, you know, I asked them how their relationship has evolved over the years, and like their collaboration and everything. And, you know, Miyamoto was like, you know, I don't know anything about musical composition, so I always default to Mr. Kondo, but like I'm always out here trying to like encourage him to like pitch more ideas for like the actual gameplay, but you know, he's just so reluctant to do it, and he's kind of shy or something like that. And Koji Kondo was like, that's not true.
Like, why would you say that about
shy
me?
now?
But yeah, I had one of those moments with Shiru Mori and Takashi Tezuka where like, you know, I was asking about like the badges and how they came up with that, and like they were like, oh well, you know, you can buy some of them in the in-game stores with these flower coins that you gather, or you can earn some of them through like in-game challenges, and like, you know, you slowly build out your inventory of badges that you can select from. And Takashi Tezuka was like, no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get the last one. And he was like, there were 2 levels that I could not complete. I've completed 100% almost every Mario game that I've ever worked on, but there were just 2 things I couldn't complete on this, and I had to have help with. And
like,
then
deeply ashamed of himself.
he was kind of disappointed. He seemed like he was kind of disappointed in himself. But then Mori chimed in with like just this proud like, I got all of them. It's just kind of like fun.
It's that skill issue.
Yeah, skill issue.
But yeah, you can read the full story about the kind of the hints about the difficulty that I gleaned from my interviews with them over at GameInformer.com. There's other features about like the making of the power-ups. We get in depth about the bubble flower and a few other things. So you have a story about the legacy of like an in-depth legacy of New Super Mario Brothers. So yeah, GameInformer.com/Mario Wonder for all of your online content. And then of course, Game Informer magazine for the full cover story.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Shea. But before you go, because I know you're a busy guy, you've been playing another game. I was trying to come up with a segue, but there's no way to compare.
You know, we're racing towards the launch of Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Speaking of racing towards, Shea, you've been playing Forza Motorsport.
I have, and it is it's a very good sim racing game.
Okay.
It is lacking in a few features, like there's some weird design choices. Like I know that like developers have to come up with ways to like innovate on like a formula for like long established genres. Like we see it with sports games all the time. They're like, oh well, now there's a card collecting element in there, and now it's just full of microtransactions. But like
innovation,
innovation, TM. Forza did a weird thing where like the career mode, I like its back to basics approach. Like you can choose like in the menu, like, all right, this is like the campaign. This one says like, okay, you got to use like high powered sedans for this, or like this is like B class cars, like based on your like performance and upgrades.
That's
and
my
everything.
speed.
But like they do a weird thing where the cars they gain experience and they level up like an RPG, and then based on the level that they are, like the upgrades that you can implement in them are level gated. So like you go to like, oh, I want to put like a new engine in my car, and it's like you need to have your car at level 29 before you can do this. And I'm like, this
so
just
weird.
seems arbitrary and frustrating, and it turned me off to like the upgrade system altogether. Like I tried to do like manual, like, oh, let me like tinker a little bit here, but there's a button that says like auto upgrade to like, you know, optimize it. And I was just, after like a few times, I was just like, let me just do that, because I'm tired of like being like, oh, I want to do this, and then it's like, oh, I need like 4 more levels before I can use that. So that's kind of annoying. I'm not a big fan of that, but like the campaign itself, I like the straightforwardness of it. Some of the sim racers have kind of gotten a little too in love with like, let's make a really convoluted and complicated campaign or story, or not story, but career, in order to like make it so that it seems like there's like depth. And I like that Forza was like, no, let's just have it so like you go into a menu, you choose which one you want to do, and then you race like the 5 or 6 races that are a part of that cup. And then the on the track action is amazing. Like the physics are great. The cars handle amazing. It looks great. Like there's a few minor like visual glitches, but they've been, I just going off of what I've played, there were a few minor glitches. They told me that the day one patch should address many of them. But you know, there's the cars just look fantastic. The real time dynamic weather and like time of day progression is kind of cool, because like you'll start in like sunset time, and then like by the time you finish the race it'll be nighttime, which is kind of neat. Or like,
Oh, that's cool.
I've started a race and it's been like foggy and like kind of like gloomy, and then by the end of the race it's like bright and sunny, like the sun breaks through the fog, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And like obviously, like, you know, based on like if it's raining, the rain looks incredible, by the way. Like it's the way it accumulates on your windshield as you're driving around, which is neat. But yeah, it's just like it's a really solid sim racing title. And it the thing that actually disappointed me the most was actually like the damage that can, or I guess in this case cannot, happen to your car. Like they tout like how realistic and how much attention to detail there is in the like, oh well, like the dirt will accumulate in as you drive in like realistic places where it would accumulate naturally in real life, like as you're driving around. But then like, and it does, like like when you finish a race, like if it's like a longer race and like you look at your car, like there's dirt like kind of in like the crevices of like the body and everything, which is kind of neat. But then there's also like, oh yeah, my rival like T-boned me while I was driving and like rolled my car, and it looks like I was just in like a minor fender bender.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like very weird.
It's kind of like what Gran Turismo has done before, right? Like, weren't they sticklers for like the whole car damage thing too?
Yeah, but like it's I think that like with the licensing of all these cars, like some of the manufacturers, I remember like early on in like the sim racing genre, some manufacturers were like, we don't want any damage to be shown on our cars because like
That's so silly.
I've always said, yeah, it's like, oh, I'll do that if you make the cars in real life that strong. Because then it'll be accurate. Like if I can slam into a wall and barely a scratch, then
like there is still damage modeling, but it's very it's very jarring if you especially if you're playing on higher difficulty settings where like damage will actually impact the performance of your car. Like I did a test yesterday where I was like, all right, I'm gonna drive around as like 200 miles an hour and just ram into the wall and see what happens. And my car went flying through the air, and then when it landed, it was like my car was like sputtering along, like barely able to go. But like the body damage looked like I had just like, you know, rubbed up against the wall the wrong way. Like there were like minor dings and dents, and that was about it. And it's like, oh, it's kind of like weird to be like, my car is barely able to drive to the pit crew to like try to fix some of the stuff, but like it also like looks like maybe somebody threw a rock at one side of my car.
All you do, like, it's still sputtering and barely hanging on, but it's gonna look super pretty as it's doing it.
So again, that's only if you have the performance hindering damage on. Like otherwise, the lower difficulties damage could be cosmetic only, which that's the part that kind of disappoints me anyway.
What's your score on the game? Have you decided yet at the time of this recording?
At the time of this recording, I'm sitting at 1 score, but I want to be a little bit careful about saying it because I'm not 100% settled on it.
No, yeah, totally get it. But reviews on the site, I think, at this point.
By the time this episode comes out, the review will be finalized and up on GameInformer.com. But yeah, I very much like it. I don't want to like let my negatives and my criticisms get.
They need to what they need to do for the next one is go play Split Second before they make it and realize that damage is good. It's a very good thing.
Throw a little Burnout Paradise in there.
Forza Horizon 5, I think, had more damage that could happen, which is interesting because, you know, it's the same franchise, even if it's a different developer.
Yeah.
And different format altogether.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
But maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe neither of them have. But also, there are more cars, I believe, in Forza Motorsport than there are Forza Horizon. Because Forza Horizon has like over 500 at launch, which is pretty big garage. But yeah, I am very positive on the gameplay itself. It's fantastic. I like a lot of the career mode stuff, even if I'm not a big fan of like the progression. And you know, the multiplayer is also fun. Like the featured races are neat. The way like it's like you sign up for it, and then it's like, yeah, this starts in 10 minutes. You can like come back in 10 minutes, or you can do like qualifying laps to like improve your placement. And then there's a rivals mode where it's basically like a time trial where you try to take down like somebody else's best score on a track, which is, you know, it's fun to get that kind of one-on-one, even if it's like they're like asynchronous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks great in action and it plays great as well.
Awesome. Well, I think we're gonna take a quick break, Shea. Thank you for joining us to talk about both the games. Real quick, if people want to follow you on social media, where can they follow you? I usually just say it, but I'm trying to get some more interaction. You know, let you.
I have not spoken enough.
Yes.
At Brian P. Shea on pretty much every social media. That's Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, Twitter, and All Things Nintendo podcast every Friday. We'll be talking more Mario Wonder, believe it or not.
Yeah, awesome. We'll go listen to All Things Nintendo this Friday. That's tomorrow if you're listening to this the day this goes up. And Shea, we'll see you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, welcome back to the Game Informer show. Brian had to get out of here, but Wes is here in his place, looking mighty fine. How you doing, Wes?
I'm doing great. It's been a good but busy week, and it's only Tuesday, so that's fun.
Yeah. I feel that. A lot of stuff happened behind the scenes. A lot of cool games being reviewed. Of course, head over to GameInformer.com.
Yeah, Hell Month has begun, as we've been calling it internally.
It is.
It's day 3, and it's a Hell Month already. Like it's.
Marcus and I are also jumping on a plane this afternoon. For
yes, mere hours
trip. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Which is why this episode might be a little short.
It's going to be shorter. Yeah, apologies. But that's okay. We've got Wes here talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage. That's cool with you, Wes.
Yeah.
Of course, you wrote our cover story. You and I went on the trip to Bordeaux just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
How's the final product shaping up? Did it hold up? Because I felt like me and you were very positive on it coming out.
Yeah. So that's the fun part about writing cover stories is like we only get to play usually snippets of a game, like maybe an hour or two total of a much larger experience. So it's always fun to see like, did what you write and what you felt about that preview essentially hold up for the rest of the game? Yeah. And what we played and experienced, I would say does hold up really well throughout the game.
Oh, good.
AC Mirage has some issues and it's rough around the edges, but the one big highlight, the one thing it does nail is the thing that you and me liked most, which was how it handles stealth and creates like mini vignettes of like stealth levels.
Awesome.
So I rolled credits last night. It took me about 17 hours, which that in itself is amazing. It feels good to play an Assassin's Creed and beat it in under 20 hours, let alone under 100.
And Valhalla, you didn't even see the title screen until 17 hours.
I mean,
that's not even a joke.
Yeah, I have not played much. I want to hear Wes's thoughts. But like that was the thing that struck me. I think I played like 30 minutes or an hour, and I saw the title screen, and I was like,
kind of nice.
They heard us, man. They like let's compress this, and it was nice to be able to make some progress, you know. But yeah, I want to hear what you think after finishing it.
Yeah, so like what stands out as the highlight to me is the stealth gameplay. It is a return to form. It's like these little puzzles that you're going through in real time because, there's 2 guards over there and there's some bushes here, so I can lure one guard over here, stab him, and then quickly assassinate the other guy with a throwing knife. All that good stuff that's like classic Assassin's Creed. It nails that stealth sandbox, black box, I think is what they call it, element. And I'm very stoked about that. It's what I've wanted Assassin's Creed to return to. So I'm feeling good about that. However, the game is a little rough around the edges. I wouldn't say it's like buggy. And to preface this is nowhere near like the Unity launch that happened in 2014
Assassin's
or 2015.
Creed Unity.
Assassin's Creed Unity,
okay,
yes.
Yeah. Just to clarify for maybe just me, I think of Unity as something very different these days. Yeah.
Yeah. Which that game like launched and was very unplayable for a lot of people and blah, blah, blah. This is very playable and totally fine. It's just it's got a little bit of that Ubisoft jank that I think they've kind of gotten away from in recent releases, but it's here. And, if you've been playing Ubisoft games for a while, it's going to feel quite familiar. So I'm a little disappointed that it has some of that. And the story, I'm an Assassin's Creed sicko. Like I've played every entry. I actually really enjoy the story of this long running series that doesn't really make sense, including the modern day stuff. Like I love the modern day story of Assassin's Creed. I'm one of like probably 5 people. And
there are dozens of us, maybe even less.
I think even less, yeah. It kind of failed me in that regard. I don't want to spoil Valhalla, but Basim is a major character in Valhalla and propped up to be a major character moving forward. So knowing that Mirage was going to be a prequel to that and show us what Bassam was up to before he got to England, I had pretty high expectations for connecting the dots between Baghdad Bassam and the Bassam we see in Valhalla. And I think the game like largely fails to connect those dots in any way that's satisfying, both for people who have not played Valhalla, because I'm sure they wanted to make sure to tick that box because a lot of people have not beaten Valhalla, and for people like me who have beaten Valhalla. And I was talking to our editor-in-chief, Matt Miller, who was reviewing the game for us, and me and him were both like, yeah, that ending, like it doesn't make sense for both people that played Valhalla and people that haven't. Like, I don't know what they were aiming for. And I'm really sad about that.
See, I'm trying to avoid, because I'm a few hours in myself. It's like, is it end on like a cliffhanger, or is it just like it doesn't do anything that would set up whatever happens? Because I didn't finish Valhalla.
The main issue with Mirage's story is that honestly, they just didn't commit. I think they were too straddled between trying to make this feel good for people who have no idea who Bassam is and fans who do know who Bassam is, because he is a major character in Valhalla and there's huge revelations in Valhalla. And this ending kind of like pokes at that, but without using the words and the names and the descriptions that I know that they want to use. It was really weird. It kind of feels like how I'm talking right now, where I'm trying not to spoil things because I don't want to spoil it.
Like, they don't want
except
to spoil
Ubisoft did that in the game. Yeah, it's like,
yeah, like we don't want to spoil the game that came before this.
Yeah, it's like this is your series, this is your franchise. You are allowed to spoil things. I'm being nice by not spoiling the game, but like this is where you do use the proper nouns and all these other things that would make me, an AC lore fan, happy. And yeah, so I'm just sad because I really felt nothing. Like, I beat the game and I like Bassam as a character, but he's different from Mirage to Valhalla, and I don't feel any connection. And now I'm like left wondering why they decided to go with a Bassam Mirage prequel in the first place.
I mean, it was supposed to be DLC. I wonder if it would have been a tighter story until they decided to blow it up into its own game, maybe. Or
well, it's not even that. It's like it's not
or
well
connected,
paced. Maybe like, yeah, it just feels. I do wonder, like, if it was a Valhalla DLC, like if they would have been more obvious in their connections. But I mean, story is not what a lot of people play these games for. I feel like I'm in the minority in doing that. I do think that they largely succeed at kind of taking this series back to its roots. And I think a lot of people might not like that, especially if they like the open world stuff, because they go a lot harder into the roots than I expected. Like, you can't really brute force your way through combat. You need to stealth it, and if you get caught, you need to like run around and get back into stealth before you continue. I tried countless times to defeat enemies as if it was an RPG action game like the open world ones, and I lost every time. Like, you really do need to rely on stealth. There's no RPG elements. You have skills that you unlock, and you have a couple tools to upgrade. There's no, like, you're not picking up purple and green pieces of gear and all this stuff. Like, there's like a couple weapons, couple daggers, couple armor pieces. And that's really it. And I really appreciate the streamlined effort that Mirage is. I do just wish that the story was a little better and that it felt a little less janky. It just kind of, I don't know, I think it could have used a little more time in the oven. I don't know how much time, and that's a whole different conversation, but like it feels a little off.
It feels like I had this feeling when I was playing last night where it was like I was running into the same sort of jank that I haven't felt since, like, I guess since before Origins, like the old school style Assassin's Creed, where it was like, this isn't a new problem. It was almost endearing of like, oh, this weird animation glitch when I get caught up in the geometry because I'm trying to climb and it doesn't climb the way I want. Like, haven't seen that in a while. And you're almost like, I was almost glad
it's a throwback feature, right? Yeah.
It got me more immersed in like, oh yeah, we are back to this. Like, I've forgotten what this was like.
It's the Animus, dude.
Yeah.
It's just the Animus. Don't worry about it.
It is endearing, and then like after 10 hours, you're like, okay, climb this freaking wall, Bass. I'm like, Jesus, go up it. But yeah, it's kind of what you just alluded to is, you like, I'm trying to jump from here to there, but instead he grabs here, and now I'm doing that weird like shuffle thing, and I'm trying to fall, but I've fallen too much, and now I've died because I fell too.
Or I fell right into pile of guards that are cheating now.
Yeah,
angry
exactly.
at me, you know, like, okay,
Guys,
guess
that's
I'm
how it
running now.
was back then. Come on, that's how it was.
Kind of,
That's
yeah.
historic.
It's
Hardcore
like the
hadn't been
issues that
perfected
arise.
yet.
It's the issues that arise when you can't just climb anywhere you want like you do in the open world games. Like, it is nice that you need to really focus on where you're climbing and actually find paths, but with the return to that comes the return of the jank.
Subtitle for this.
Yeah.
I want to keep going with it. I do have affection for those original games, and the new ones just didn't really. I haven't finished any of them. Like Odyssey, I played a couple hours. Valhalla, I played the most, and I was like, that's okay. So I am excited to have sort of a nostalgic, throwback to the ones that I loved were like Assassin's Creed 2, and I played in 3, was good. But I want to get back to it. I've already gotten distracted by some other games, but I want to pick Mirage back up before the end of the year.
Hey, it's kind of fun to
It's
go
ridiculous
back
how
to
the
that.
game's not out yet, and you're saying I've been distracted by other games. I'm like, it's not even out to the public, man.
I mean, this is that's
Welcome
just
to
our
Hell
lives, right?
Month, Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there where it's like I'm gonna keep going with it for sure, just because it's been so long since I played. Because I didn't even really play Syndicate, so my last one of these, at least of the old school ones, was Unity, which I finished, and like I said, it has been that charm of like, yeah, that's right, this is how it used to be, and it's kind of fun to be back here and just seeing Baghdad and seeing how pretty it is and knowing like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm only gonna be here. This is kind of nice. Like, they're not gonna whisk me off to another giant landmass at some point, as far as I know. I don't know. I'm digging it so far. And the story, at least from where I'm at, it's like, it's fine. Bassam seems cool.
Yeah,
I didn't play enough Valhalla to ever meet him, so this is my introduction to him. So I was like, yeah, he seems alright so far. I'm chilling him. He looks like the Prince of Persia in my game, because I got the we got the deluxe edition code.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So he's just got like magical sand flying off of him at all times.
Isn't the Warrior Within DLC or something?
No, it's OG Prince.
Oh, it is. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind. I
Prince
must
is
be-
in the game.
Yeah.
Dang.
He's just wearing a purple
Some Minnesota
suit.
love.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, I liked playing it. I don't actually know what Matt's giving it. If I had to score it, I think it's like somewhere between a 7 and 8 on our scale for me.
Okay.
Maybe like a 7.25 or
Solid,
7.5. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not anything I think you need to like rush out to play, especially in this month of all months. But like, if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, I do think it's a valiant effort to, give old school fans like a little treat, because they seem to be pushing farther and farther into these giant 100-hour games. So I enjoyed, kicking back for 15 hours and killing some people. It's a good time.
I want to see the fans that came in with Origins that have not played the old ones before that, to see what they think of this. Like, the ones that only know Assassin's Creed as the 200-hour action games. Like, will they be cool with this, or will this be such a like it just scales thing down too much? I'm like, what if they took out all the good stuff? What even is this?
They're like watching credits, and they're like, "What's going on? This is I barely hit start."
Or like the backlash that the new Prince of Persia got from like not educated fans, maybe, of like, why are they making this 2D? That's not what these games are. And it's like, that is what they were for the longest time.
Yeah, that's really funny, actually. Well, cool. Can I derail the conversation and take us in a new direction? Is that?
You're the one that has
okay
a
with
heart
you all?
out, Alex. So it's
I know.
You're the one at the wheel. So if
I'm
you
gonna
wanna
miss my
drive
flight
us-
because I want to show this off.
driving a fall.
So, okay, if you don't want to hear about Pokemon cards, skip ahead 5 minutes, if that.
Can I? Where's my skip ahead 5 minutes button?
Yeah, I
don't
know.
where that
Sorry,
is.
Kyle.
No,
You're
it's
locked
fine.
in.
It's fine. I'm glad if you're excited about
Oh.
Pokemon cards. Talk about it.
We talking 151?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah.
151.
I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Cool.
We're talking 151. Yes, sir.
What's-
So video viewers are going to get the
box.
most out of this experience for the next few minutes, but I did want to talk about the new 151 set. So in case you didn't know, oftentimes during the holidays, Pokemon has like a special set, because it usually coincides with the anniversary of the franchise. And so 2 years ago, in 2021, it was the Pokemon Celebrations, and that's where you got a lot of reprints of old cards like the Charizards and like the base set Charizard and all of that, with like a like 25th anniversary stamp on it. And that was like a really big. There's a really big wave of people getting back into Pokemon because of that, into the card game specifically. And I have a feeling it's not gonna be as big. I think there's just been like a lot less marketing behind it. But the new 151 set is exactly what it is. The only cards in the set have to do with the first generation of Pokemon. And so for a lot of retro fans, like, oh, this is like a really good time to get into it. The Pokemon card market is also down right now, like if like the secondary market overall. And so it's a great time to get into playing the game. That's just my opinion. I've got back into it in early 2021. And I've been kind of going pretty steady. I've got a pretty big collection again. I had a friend gift me some vintage stuff. But anyways, all that to say, I've been really into it. The Pokemon Company, disclaimer, sent me a few packs, like I think like a dozen or so packs to open. But then I've purchased like $150 worth of cards. I'm whispering it.
Wait, why not 151?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it! You're right. Well,
Just keep throwing another dollar in there.
my wife is in the other room, and I don't want her to hear me say it.
So like, you're busted a wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Like,
disclaimer:
what?
they did send over some product, but I had a lot of pre-orders myself. But I want to show off some of the cool cards real quick for the video viewers. YouTube.com/Game Informer shows.
I can describe the art and
I'll describe it. So, and I'll be quick too. So we'll start with the least cool stuff. We got this gold Mew EX.
Mew's not cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Mew's
You
cool.
got the
But
top loaders too. What's up?
the big thing with
I got that one too.
so there are things called illustration rares, right? And those are, they bring in special artists to do special, very stylized animations. There's a Machoke card in this set that has like the pointillism art style, so it's like a lot of dots make up one image. And so there's these like special illustration cards, and that's what the big chase cards are this year, and really in the last 3 years have been those. They're often called secret rares, but they're now officially,
I know that term.
Illustration rares is like their official name now.
I know some of those words.
Yeah. So okay, I've got Blastoise and Squirtle illustration rares that I pulled from cards from past purchased.
It's slightly to your right.
Let me zoom in.
Well, because remember, I have the. There you go. You can see them
right here.
Over. There you go. So nailed it. Perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I like that the art takes up the whole card.
Yeah, they're full arts. Yeah, these are the illustration rare full arts.
Yeah, Blastoise, is he underwater? Like,
yeah, he's underwater. He's in like a underwater cave.
I thought you were asking if he's into water. It's like, Blastoise, is he into water? He likes that.
Yeah. I've got this Poliwhirl,
awesome.
And he's looking at his reflection, getting hypnotized from the rain.
Oh, that's probably a recurring thing with those.
Yeah.
Those poor creatures.
I got this really cool Pikachu. Pikachu's out on the town.
Yeah.
You got that one too, Wes? Let's go.
Yeah.
He's fleeing his trainer. He doesn't want.
Yeah,
to
he's
be with
actually
them
trying to
anymore.
recreate the Beatles street crossing.
Oh, that's
cover.
okay.
Yeah. We got Giovanni's charisma. It's just Giovanni's got a lot of riz. He's
Ash's father, according to the stage musical Pokemon.
Yeah, definitely. I as a kid, I thought Giovanni was his dad.
Yeah, it's truly in the musical. I think
Have they never confirmed that now that Ash is retired? They haven't said yes or no on that.
I always felt like it's implied. Maybe I haven't looked into it too much, to be honest. This is another Giovanni's. So here's a good illustration. So these are the same cards. One is the secret rare, the secret illustration rare, and one is just like the normal ultra full art. So that's kind of the difference in like a normal rare and a special rare.
Too much riz for one card, basically.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of Mr. Mime.
Ooh, that one's awesome.
Mr. Mime illustration rare. He's in a park. They're just chatting. They're just hanging out. They look like they're scheming,
Plotting their next move.
Yeah, plotting their next move. This is one of my favorites. This is Tangela, and they are swinging from tree branch, having fun, enjoying the day.
I didn't know they could use their arms like that.
Oh yeah.
I thought they were just a big ball.
A lot of things Tangela
like
can
tentacle
do that we don't know about.
monster.
I always pronounce
and
it
this
Tangela.
This is one of the waifu cards that This is
Yeah, it's
not
gonna
like
be worth
this.
a lot of money.
This is
you
not
say-
the super rare one. There's a rarer version of this
Did you
card.
say waifu?
Yeah, they're called waifu card. I mean, by the
Isn't-
community, it's like there's guys who only collect the anime girls cards. This is Erica's invitation.
Yeah,
You
she's
might
a
know her from
gym leader, right?
Gym Leader, correct? Yep.
The
And there's a
plant
card
one?
of
She's
her.
psychic or bug or
Bug.
bug
No,
or something. Bug.
yeah.
Grass.
Psychic was the scary
Hmm.
lady that had the doll in the anime.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah,
exactly.
I remember her. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a fun time. It's been a good set. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I kind of haven't been the biggest fan of like the newer sets, like comparatively to like some of the older stuff, but this is like it's got me again.
Yeah.
Of those cards you just showed us, which one would you wear around your necklace? Like wear as a necklace, like Logan Paul?
Probably the Blastoise. I think it's going for like $50.
Okay.
It is. It's the second highest. The first highest is the Charizard, of course. It's going for like 100.
Can you get that made before our trip and wear it the whole time?
I mean, I could just bring it. I feel like I've got like a hole maker for like binders, you know?
Punch a hole in the card.
Yeah,
nothing
punch a hole
like
in
the card. Yeah.
Yeah, put some yarn through it like a little fifth grader.
Yeah, I mean, nothing like going to a foreign country and just wearing something valuable around your neck, you know, as a tourist. It's just smart travel tip.
I hear they're very nice where we're going, though. you
Yeah, I'm
know?
sure they are.
Very Blastoise friendly place.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Okay, well that's the Pokemon Minute, the Pokemon Corner. Pokemon 151, very fun. I think I'm gonna put it on my Christmas list because I can't find them in the store anymore, and I'm hoping there's a restock by Christmas.
Circle it in your little Toys R Us guide.
Yeah, exactly.
right. Get out the Sharpie.
Did you pre-order the what's it, Ultra Premium box? I think it's like the $120 box coming out Friday.
I bought that one for celebrations 2 years ago, and I actually gave away one of those special cards in Extra Life.
Oh, nice.
And I regret it because it's soared, man.
So whoever
Whoever
you
bought
are, if
that,
you're
I can't
listening,
remember.
he
You
wants
got
it
an
back.
Incredible deal.
That person's a millionaire.
I pre-ordered one. I'm gonna try my best to just put it in my. I'm gonna get home, keep it packaged, like vacuum sealed, and put it in my closet, and hopefully just forget about it. Because I want to be one of those people that sells it to a streamer 10 years from now, and they pay me $30,000 for a box of cards.
So just find some idiot streamer in the future.
Yeah, as part of my like card game preservation efforts, every time I open a new pack of Pokemon, I set one aside. So I've got like one single sealed pack of every set since I've started getting back into it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That takes some self-control.
It does. Well, the other night I opened like 4 of them. I was like, well, it'll be fine. But for the most part, I have self-control. Yes. All right.
Good.
Yeah. You guys been playing anything else before we wrap up? Kyle, I feel like you and I. Well, actually, none of us have any of us.
Here's what I can.
episode?
Here's what
Have any of us
Sony
talked?
has allowed us to say.
Okay.
We have Spider-Man.
Whoa.
That's all I'll say. I'm done.
That's all
sounds
you
like
can
we-
say, Kyle.
That's all I'm
It
allowed
sounds
to
like
say.
we kidnapped him. Like we have Spider-Man.
I was
And that's
like,
all you
I'll
need
say-
to
I'll
know.
say
J.
more, I
Jonah
don't
Jameson refreshing my email inbox. Bring me
I'll say
Spider-Man.
more. I'll break embargo right now. Dare
Don't
me.
do it. Don't do it.
Dare
I
me.
dare you. I dare you. I dare you.
The game is a video game.
Oh, how could you?
I'm not allowed to say that. They're trying to, you know.
There's a red dot on your forehead.
Right.
Yeah.
Careful, duck.
Yeah, it's shaped like a web. We've all been playing it.
Yes.
I did finish Phantom Liberty recently, which is quite good as well. Wes has talked about that in depth, but yeah.
Yes. That is on my list. So I'm close to beating Baldur's Gate. I'm midway through Act 3. And I've kind of
like 70 hours long.
Yeah, but so I've been playing it on my MacBook actually.
Oh yeah.
It runs really well on Mac. That came out
interesting.
the same day as the console versions.
Okay.
And your
so I'm
Steam
actually-
copy just works, right? I mean, that's not the.
Yeah.
Okay, I
it
didn't know if there
all-
was like a through the App Store or something. They probably sell it there.
I
but-
did
No.
not know that.
Yeah, it's just Steam. Yeah. And so I am taking that with me on my trip today, actually, and hopefully wrapping that up in the airport / on the plane. I also need to finish Zelda, but then the whole point being, I really want to get to Cyberpunk, Kyle.
That's good.
Hearing y'all talk about it has really energized me to play that game.
Yeah, I reinstalled
Did
it.
you end up liking it, Kyle?
Yeah, I haven't gotten I talked to you a little bit about it off, just in Slack of getting the new proper ending, I guess you could say. I haven't done that yet because I got distracted by Resident Evil and other things. But I do want to see that through. I met Idris Elba at the gas station for his road trip. Now he's like, "I'll call you when I'm ready." I'm like, "Well, now I just gotta wait around."
Yeah.
You've got like 25 minutes left.
Okay, yeah, this shouldn't be too much longer.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about in real life. Like, I ran into him at the gas station at a Wawa and said, "I like your video games, sir."
Yeah. And he's like, "I don't even remember being in a video game." That's my Idris Elba.
Is he that?
That was so good.
Today we cancel the apocalypse.
Oh, that's much better. Oh my god,
That was really good too.
I've been playing Advance Wars 1, 2. Do we say 1+2 reboot camp?
1+2, yeah.
Or did we say 3? Did we just
What did we
complete
say
the
with
equation?
everybody 1+? Is it everybody's 1-2 switch? 1+2 switch?
Yeah, that's the this year the trilogy that hasn't been completed yet. The 1+2 games.
Yeah, I've been playing that. The first Advance Wars. Because funny enough, you can't even play Advance Wars 2 until you beat the first one. Like, it's grayed out.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Okay.
to me that's fine because I've never played those old games, but
Yeah.
I'd see it being a bummer if you have and you're like, "Oh, Advance
Yeah.
Wars 2 is my favorite." It's like, well, you're gonna have to go through 1 if you want to get to that. They go out of their way to really onboard you. They do give you the option, like, hey, you can skip this, but they take a while to sort of like show you the ropes. You got to do a few missions, but I'm past that at this point. It's a good. I've been doing the. I think it was Will Wright that said that he used to wake up and play a round every morning to kind of get his brain working.
He talked about trying to figure out a way to play while driving. Once I remember him talking about. And then former Game Informer editor, I'm sure you guys know him, Cyril Vasquez, once famously in the office said, "I think about Advance Wars every day." And this was like 2000.
That's his Roman Empire.
This was like 2016. I was like, "Every day you think about Advance Wars?" And he looked me in the eyes without smiling, and he said, "Yes."
It's funny you said that. I just found out like 2 days ago about that Roman Empire meme or whatever. Like, I was like, "What is this thing? What are we doing now on the internet?" But
I don't
so
know
yeah,
anybody that thinks about the Roman Empire. I don't
honestly,
think about it.
I think about it a lot, but I'm a huge history nerd. Like I do. I'm the person that watches like, oh, this video about like how the Roman like their battle tactics and stuff like that, and I'll do late night Wikipedia binges about random historical things. So I'm probably in the upper echelon of like, no, I've thought about it very recently and on a semi-regular basis, but more just because it fascinates me.
I think about the only time I think about it is when I think about like the death, everybody dying at like age 35, and that makes me sad. And then I stop thinking about the Roman Empire and I think about something else.
Once you turn 12, you're a man, basically.
Yeah, I was like, man, what an awful way to live, you know?
Yeah,
I'm 31 and I'm still a kid, you know?
Yeah,
Still buying
you were an
Pokemon
elder
cards.
by that time. They're looking at you like, hey, tell us about all your years of experience. Guide us.
Yeah, for real. I don't know anything. Like, how do you...
Don't know
Yeah.
anything. I mean, it's true. I'm laughing because I'm. In
I
the
think
same
like
boat.
a 14-year-old kid from the Roman Empire could beat me up as a 31-year-old.
Oh, absolutely.
From America.
Yeah.
They're like trained from birth to kill people.
They could
Although,
fight,
like,
they
that
could fight
kid
in
would
a
mess you
UFC
up.
match and be like totally fine. You know?
I actually
got
feel
some
like I
buff
could
kids.
take out a kid gladiator. I think I could maybe.
Nah.
That should be the headline. Alex thinks
They
I
had
can
so
kill a kid
less. They had
gladiator.
so few
No, like,
distractions.
okay, what do you have, a
Like all
sword?
their.
Okay.
Even with no weapon, I would not. They have so few Like all they know is how to kill things, basically.
Alex, I
I'm
thought you were the
capable- I
one
know
with
how-
a hard
I know how
out,
to
and
kill
now
people.
you're talking about fighting Roman children.
I know how to kill things. I am just a
No, no, no,
miserable
no, no,
person
no, no.
who chooses not to. I have the knowledge. I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of news stories in our world. I have the knowledge,
I've watched a lot of.
and I probably
I
got
believe
100
you.
pounds on the kid from the
What
Roman
is
Empire.
the video site that's always
Is they're
sharing
wrestling horses to the ground.
fight videos? Something
World Star?
World Star Hip. I've
Oh, like
seen
World
enough
Star
World Star
Hip-Hop?
Hip Hop videos. I know what to do with myself.
Yeah,
You watch a lot of Kimbo Slice fights.
you know,
back
era
in
I
the
could
day.
definitely beat up. I could probably beat up anyone from the Great Depression. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
The great.
You're already,
I mean, I don't know.
Once you
Maybe
beat them up, they're
that was a
depressed.
That was a
scrappy,
pretty desperate
man.
time. They had nothing to do but fight because they lost their job.
Nah,
And they're like, well, I don't want people
potatoes.
taking my little shack, so I'm gonna have to throw hands every day, so you don't take my potato.
My great grandma is still alive and lived through the Great Depression. I could definitely take her out. So I'm guessing any of her friends too.
Do you tell her that every time you see her? Like, just so you know, grandma.
Just so you know, grandma.
Don't cross
I
this.
Quietly at the dinner table, you whisper in her ear, "I can take you out any moment."
You ain't too old for an ass whooping. Just saying.
Oh my god.
What a way to close
I think
out
that's a
the
great way
show.
to end it. Yeah.
Beating up kids that have been
I should-
dead for centuries.
I should call my grandma, my great grandma.
So you can, because you haven't reminded her that you can hurt her in a
Yeah,
while.
you gotta check in.
No, my great grandma rules. We text.
Okay, that's cool. I
Text her
guess.
that you can kick her butt.
I'll just send a like a meme or like a drawing to illustrate.
It's a
what would happen.
gif, a fight
Yeah,
gif.
me versus Great Depression people, and it's like,
You're
Just
fighting that
double tap
lady
it, give
from
me
the.
haha.
yeah,
I'm just picturing you fist fighting the lady from that famous photograph with the kids, and she's looking all sad. Pretty much like the most iconic image of the Great Depression. Like you're stepping up to her
yeah, yeah.
and beating up her kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got to go pack because I have to leave the airport in an hour, and I haven't packed.
Sweet, excellent.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. I'm really stressed out. Thanks for
Wait, what's the
watching,
fight?
everybody.
There's
Thanks
only
for
one way
listening.
to relieve that stress, and that's with
Yep.
aggression towards Roman children, apparently.
Yeah, and Great Depression
grandmas.
people. Yeah, I got normal depression. I could still whip your ass. All right, let's get out of here. I'm feeling unhinged. Follow the crew this week. Follow Kyle at Kyle M. Hilliard. You can follow Marcus at Marcus Stewart 7. Follow Wes at LeBlanc Wes. And you can follow me, Alex, at It's Van Aken. Don't forget to go and grab single issues of the Game Informer magazine for $5.99 a piece. You can get those online at GameStop.com/Game Informer. You just scroll down past our reviews, and you'll see all of our recent magazines. Everything from Assassin's Creed Mirage prior that are up there are we're up to date. Mario isn't up there yet, Super Mario Wonder, but it will be in the next few days. And of course, you can get a digital subscription to Game Informer through a number of ways. Check it out all on our website, GameInformer.com/magazine. It's a great way to support us as well. As Shea said earlier in the episode, go listen to all things Nintendo. And shout out to our podcast editor, Matt Storm, aka DJ Stormageddon. You can follow their podcasts, which are called Fun and Games, and the Reignite podcast, which is a BioWare-focused gaming podcast. That's gonna
Matt,
do it
as
for
you're
us.
editing this, I owe you something. I owe you a monologue about a favorite video game. I promise I will get that to you soon. He's been bugging to me for a while. I'm sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it for us this week. We will see you next Thursday for even more games. Maybe we can talk more about. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. There's more games. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.